Hi there, I'm Jacob, and if you're new to this channel, this is New Sounds and Old coming to you from Denmark. If you're not new to this channel, if you've seen a video from me before, if you are even one of the few followers that I have, once again, I apologize for not doing more frequent videos. I'll try to do more frequent videos and yada yada yada, as I always say whenever I do a video every 6 months. Um, but no promises. Okay. So, like everyone else, I was at Record Store Day yesterday, Saturday. This is Sunday evening, and I had a sort of limited budget, as I always do, because I'm just not good at saving up for Record Store Day. I always buy a lot of records during the year, and so when we get to the actual third Saturday in April, uh, money's too tight to mention. And But still, I managed to pick up 5 items. I had to leave some behind at the store. Unfortunately, I was I was looking to buy the reissue from the fall from one of their, I think, maybe 2000s albums called "Are You Are Missing Winner." I had it in my hand. I decided to not buy it, and also the 4 LP set "Live in Paris, France" from the John Coltrane Quartet. Yeah, it was expensive here in Denmark, but I really hope that I will be able to pick that up at a later point. I hope that enough copies were made so that it won't be all sold out everywhere. But I did pick up 5 items, and just gonna show you them now. So first of all, I picked up the Olivia Dean 7-inch. You've Got a Friend, the old Carole King song. This was recorded at the show later with Jules Holland. I believe Jules Holland, well, he's a TV presenter and musician from England. I think that he maybe played keys in the band The Stranglers, if I remember correctly. And he has this TV show called Later, which is just brilliant. He I don't know how many shows they do a year. I would think maybe 6 or 8 or something. And then he just invites all of the biggest musicians in the world, and they come into the studio, and they're like in a circle, and he's in the middle, and um, each band or artist play like 2, maybe 3 songs. And Olivia Dean was on there, and she did this duet here, or not a duet, but rather a cover of the Carole King song "You've Got a Friend." And the B side actually also has a cover on it called "Cool About It," which is a song from Boy Genius, the American alt pop, indie pop trio, of course, with Phoebe Bridgers, Julianne Baker, and Lucy Dacus. Yes, that's it. But happy to get this. This is just a standard black vinyl. I'll show you the inner sleeve. Olivia Dean live at the BBC. But yeah, I really love Olivia Dean. There's her latest album right there, and this is a great cover, two great covers rather, and she's a great singer. And this was very sought after at my store, or my store, at the store that I go to. So happy to get that. Just shortly about my record store day experience, I had set my alarm to like 2:45 a.m. because I wanted to get to the store early. Woke up at I think around 10 past 2 a.m. because a man in my age, we have to go to the bathroom 3 times every night. And I just thought, well, now that I'm up, why not just get ready and drive? So I actually got there a bit earlier than expected. It's an 80-minute drive for me to the store that I go to. I live in the south of Denmark. I drive to Copenhagen. There are stores closer to me that do record store day. There's one like 25 minutes away, but they do not always carry all of the stuff that I want, or they have not ordered all of the stuff that I want, and and some other reasons as well. You know, for at the store in Copenhagen, we're always the same people in the front of the queue, and we meet like that one time a year for Record Store Day. It's always really lovely to catch up with them and see how they're doing, and and also this store. are just very strict about how they do record store day. So I've been to other stores previously and like smaller shops who just let in as many people as possible at the same time, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving and a lot of sharp elbows. And even though you get there early and you're like first, second or third or whatever in the queue, the guy who was number 30 has as big of a chance as you to get like the one copy of the one album that you're really looking for, even though he joined the queue at a much later time. Um, so the fact that you got there, you got up at like shit o'clock and got to the queue early and stood outside in the cold, waited for hours and hours and hours, is not necessarily rewarded. So the store that I go to, he lets in a maximum of 10 people at a time. And for anyone new to enter, like for one new person to enter, one person has to leave the store. So the first 10, we have as much time as we basically need to find the albums that we want. And then whenever someone leaves, then another person can enter the store. And there's no pushing or shoving. We're all, gentlemen or gentlewomen about it. We actually help each other out. We talk about in the queue. We have a lot of time talking about what do you want, what do you want, what do you want, and we pick out records for each other and just, hey, didn't you say that you wanted the Pink Floyd box set? Yes. Well, it's here. Here it is. I'm gonna give it to you right now. And so on. And I really like that it's so civilized and people are so understanding about it. There's nothing I hate more than people, cutting the line or, uh, you know, getting the rewards even though they haven't actually put in any effort, basically. So that's why I go to that store every time, and I have to get up very early. And even though it was yesterday, I'm still incredibly tired. The second record I picked up is this one from the Brand New Heavies. This is the Heavy Rhyme Experience Volume 1. So Brand New Heavies were and are, they're still active. A British acid jazz funk soul quartet. Um, Actually, more like a trio, but still, it's a quartet when they have a singer with them. On this album, it's just the rhythm group, if you will, and then instead of their normal female singer, they are featuring various rappers who were huge at the time when this album originally came out in 1992. So on here, rapping, you have people like Gangstar, Grand Puba, Master Ace, Cool G Rap, Black Sheep, The Far Side, and it's a really really groovy, funky album. So music is like I said, groovy and funky and acid jazzy, and then these really talented rappers just spitting bars and putting rhymes to the music. And this was, as I said, released in 1992. Um, there's never been a volume 2, by the way. Uh, that's the inner sleeve with the band logo. But yeah, this was very popular when it came out, at least over here in Europe. Reissued on a white vinyl, and yeah, happy to delve more into this album. Everything is flipping over here. Yeah, happy to get that. That was a must-have record for me. Next one is this one. You might not know this if you're not Danish, and even if you're Danish, you might not know it. Still, this is the album called "The Song Is in the Drum" by a project called Lulu Rouge, originally released in 2013 on a very very limited, in very very limited numbers. I think only 300 were made at the time. It's really expensive. It goes for like €100, $100 or more on Discogs. But now it's been reissued for Record Store Day 2026. This is dubby, heavy bass, heavy drum electronica. So this came out also when Anders Trandemøller, who you may know, Trandemøller if you're an English-speaking person, first came out and did some of his original or some of his first stuff, and he I think he sort of got these guys a record deal and helped them out in the beginning. This is the band's second album. They had an album before that, I think it was called Bless You, which was really good as well. But it's the same sort of music as on Trandmøller's first couple of releases. So it's like deep house, deep electronic, dubby beats. Features some really beautiful vocals from various singers on some of the songs. Yeah, this is a really, really good album. From Lulu Rouge, the song is in the drum. Another good album, or mini album if you will, is this one. This is by the project called Sages, and I guess the record is also called Sages. This is a duo consisting of Icelandic Olafur Arnalds, who you may know from his solo work. He does like modern classical, piano-driven modern classical stuff. He's also featured in the more electronic and minimal techno-y project called Kiasmos, where his beautiful, haunting melodies are put to beats by another guy called Janus Rasmussen, who's from the Faroe Islands. So it's an Icelandic Faroe Island duo. Kiasmos, really, really, really good. Highly recommend them. They're one of my favorite acts of the past 10 years. And then also, so it's Olafur Arnalds, and then the female singer, you might recognize her if you are from Europe. Yes, this is Loreen. Loreen, who's won the Eurovision Song Contest twice. First time, I think, in 2014 with the song Euphoria, and then second time was a couple of years ago with the song called Tattoo. So these guys have done a duo called Sages, and they've released 4 songs so far, and all those 4 songs are on side A. Side B then features some remixes of the songs on side A. Yeah. Sound-wise, it's somewhere between Olafur's solo work and then the Kiasmos band work. So it is really melodic, really beautiful, modern classical, and then there are just some snippets of beats, and there's one song in particular where there are beats going through the entire song, like a minimal techno-y stuff, and then of course the remixes are all beat driven. But this is such a gorgeous record, and even though there are only 4 songs into their companionship, I hope that they will do more, and this is very, very recommendable as well. So Sages, if you're into some melodic, slightly minimal techno-y stuff, Olafur Arnalds and Loreen. So, last one, and the one that I wanted the most, was is the Madonna The Confessions Tour double live album. So this was released almost 20 years ago originally. This concert here is from the tour, the Confessions tour that Madonna was on, following her album Confessions on a Dance Floor, released in, and I forget it now, whether it's 2005 or 6, which was her return to like a more disco-y, like a more, late 70s, early 80s sort of visual. With Madonna in a leotard doing like almost aerobics type stuff in the video for Hung Up, which was, I think, maybe the biggest hit from the record. And so she went on tour with that album. She came to Denmark for the first time. I saw her in a field with 85,000 people. It was an amazing concert. It was the worst arranged concert that I've ever been to. It was just horrible. But the music was good, and Madonna was, as always, amazing. My biggest musical love of all time. Anyways, they did a concert movie released on DVD, and then also, of course, on CD back in the day. I got those back in the day, and now it has gotten a vinyl release for the first time, to coincide, of course, with Madonna on the 3rd of July releasing the follow-up to the Confessions on a Dance Floor album, with her new album Confessions 2. And this one is also really pretty to look at. It's not only good to listen to, it's really pretty to look at. They've done these rather annoying cutout inner sleeves, like a heavy cardboard with like a cutout. So this is actually the record you can see here. Comes out like this. Maybe you can see the cutout in the inner sleeve, and it's like a pink, white, bluish sort of splatter type thing. It's really gorgeous, and of course I will be putting the vinyl in some like other anti-static inner sleeves soon. But yeah, happy to get this. I know this live album from end to beginning, but still, I looking forward to listening to it. I haven't had the chance to listen to it yet. But yeah, that is the fifth and final thing that I picked up at Record Store Day. I also got a new album, actually. Not a Record Store Day release, but I bought a new album from an artist. I'll be showing that in a future video, hopefully. And then also, a friend of mine was just recently at the Record Planet Fair in Den Bosch in the Netherlands. This huge fair with 500, 600, 700 sellers, like the biggest fair in the world. And he kindly brought home an item for me, a test pressing, even of a release that I'm looking for. And yeah, those are kind of him. Anyways, that's my short but still too long Record Store Day experience. And till next time, see you. Bye bye.